The movie begins with construction manager John Garrett struggling with delays at a half-finished skyscraper. On his way home, he hears about a newly discovered comet called Clark, which scientists claim is harmless. But when John reaches home, the tension between him and his wife Allison is obvious. Their son Nathan quickly brightens the mood by showing John his drawing of the comet. Yet Nathan is diabetic and depends on insulin, making his condition something the family can never ignore. That night, the family watches more news about Clark and the hundreds of fragments following it. Everyone is reassured that there is no danger, but John quietly moves into the guest room, revealing that his marriage is already falling apart. The next morning, John prepares for Nathan's birthday party and takes his son to the store for supplies. Suddenly, everyone outside stops and looks toward the sky. Clark is now visible during the day, appearing like a burning scar across the heavens. Then John's phone receives a presidential emergency alert. He and his immediate family have been selected for relocation to an emergency shelter. Strangely, nobody else receives the message. John immediately realizes something is wrong. And before we continue, don't forget to subscribe, because it helps us grow together and bring you more epic fantasy and disaster movie stories like this. John races home with Nathan, passing military convoys and aircraft heading in the opposite direction. When he arrives, guests are already celebrating Nathan's birthday, completely unaware that disaster is approaching. John tells Allison about the alert, but she assumes it is some kind of government drill. Then the family gathers around the television as a fragment of Clark is expected to hit the Atlantic Ocean. The children excitedly count down. 3, 2, 1. Nothing happens. Then suddenly the ground shakes violently. Glass rattles, birds flee, and a massive shockwave tears through the distance. The news anchor soon reveals the horrifying truth. The fragment did not hit the Atlantic. It struck Florida, destroying an entire area and sending the blast thousands of miles away. Satellite images show a gigantic fiery wound across the Earth. Everyone finally understands that the comet is far more dangerous than the government admitted. John's phone receives another emergency alert, and this time everyone in the house sees it. The message confirms that only John, Allison, and Nathan have been selected for relocation. A special code gives them access to military transportation, but nobody else can come with them. Panic immediately spreads through the house. John and Allison grab Nathan's insulin, food, water, and anything else they can carry. Then the news reveals that a massive fragment, already nicknamed the planet Killer, will strike Earth within 2 days. As John drives away, desperate neighbors surround the car and beg him to take their children. One woman even begs John to take her daughter, but he knows the military will turn them away. He drives on as stores are looted, alarms scream, smoke fills the distance, and civilization begins collapsing. Traffic soon becomes completely impossible, forcing John to leave the highway and search for another route. Radio reports reveal multiple impacts across the world, while scientists finally begin describing the situation as an extinction-level event. Eventually, John reaches the military airbase. Thousands of terrified civilians are packed against the gates, begging soldiers to let them inside. John shows his emergency code, and his family is allowed through. They receive identification wristbands and are ordered to reduce their luggage. Then John realizes Nathan's insulin is missing. He rushes back to the car to retrieve it, leaving Allison and Nathan with the officers. But when Allison mentions Nathan's diabetes, everything changes. The officers tell her that people with chronic medical conditions are not allowed into the shelter. Despite her desperate pleas, Allison and Nathan are escorted out. John returns with the insulin, completely unaware that his family has been removed. He rushes toward the aircraft, calling for Allison and Nathan, but the noise around him is overwhelming. A passenger notices the insulin and explains what must have happened. John immediately realizes the truth and demands to leave the plane. Before he can, the military base erupts into chaos. Civilians breach the gates, gunfire breaks out, and panic spreads across the runway. Then an aircraft catches fire and explodes, triggering a chain reaction that sends flames across the base. John escapes the destruction and desperately searches for Allison and Nathan. Instead, he finds their car gone and a message from Allison saying she has taken Nathan to her father's house. His family is still alive, but Nathan's insulin is running dangerously low. Allison stops at a pharmacy and checks Nathan's blood sugar, only to discover that it has dropped dangerously low. She searches through the looted pharmacy for insulin while trying to keep her son calm. Suddenly, armed men storm inside and begin firing. Bullets rip through the shelves as Allison grabs Nathan and escapes through the back. Outside, they manage to stop a passing car driven by a couple heading north. At first, the couple agrees to help, but then they notice Allison's government wristband. Their attitude changes immediately. They demand to know where she got it, and moments later, they throw Allison onto the highway and drive away with Nathan still inside. Allison is left left injured and helpless as the car carrying her son disappears. Meanwhile, John finds a ride with several men traveling north in a supply truck. One of them, Colin, tells John they are heading toward Canada, where planes are still transporting survivors to the last active shelters in Greenland. For the first time, John sees a possible way to save his family, but another passenger has been staring at John's wristband. He demands that John hand it over, hoping to use it for himself. John refuses, and a brutal fight breaks out inside the moving truck. The driver loses control, sending the vehicle crashing and flipping across the road. John crawls out of the wreckage badly injured. The attacker is dead, and Colin has also been killed. John is alone again, but he continues north. Allison eventually gets another ride from people traveling toward a military base. She has no idea where Nathan has been taken, but she follows the only lead she has. When the kidnappers reach the base, soldiers inspect their wristbands. Nathan immediately tells them that the people with him are not his parents. The soldiers arrest the kidnappers and take Nathan inside for safety. Hours later, Allison reaches the same base and searches desperately through the medical tents in command areas. Finally, she finds Nathan. He has been treated and given insulin. The relief is overwhelming. A nurse arranges transportation for Allison and Nathan toward her father's city, where they can restock Nathan's medical supplies before continuing their journey. At the same time, John breaks into an abandoned house looking for food and water. He finds a working television and receives another devastating update. The main impact will happen in less than 24 hours. John immediately searches for car keys and begins driving toward Allison's father's home. When he arrives, Allison's father is calmly playing cards with his friends, almost as if the world outside has not ended. John asks about Allison, and although tension remains between them, there is no time for old arguments. The Comet is coming. Then Allison and Nathan manage to call home from a gas station. John and her father immediately leave to find them. After everything they have endured, the family finally reunites. John tells Allison that the Greenland shelters are real and that planes are still evacuating survivors through Canada. They quickly prepare to leave, but Allison's father refuses to go. He has accepted that he will remain behind. Before they can argue further, a massive comet fragment strikes somewhere in the distance. The explosion shakes the house and sends a shockwave across the horizon. There is no more time. Allison says goodbye to her father, and he gives John a gun as a final gesture of trust. John, Allison, and Nathan drive away. After everything that has happened, John and Allison finally reconnect. Their only goal now is to keep Nathan alive and reach Greenland before the planet killer arrives. The road north quickly turns into another nightmare. A blockade traps them as fragments begin raining from the sky. Cars explode, people run for their lives, and fire spreads across the highway. John breaks away from the traffic and drives through the destruction while Allison protects Nathan in the back seat. They eventually reach a bridge where survivors are hiding beneath the concrete, but John notices a man trapped inside a burning car and rushes out to rescue him. After getting back to his family, they continue north through the devastation. The radio soon reports that the main impact could destroy more than 75% of all life on Earth. Time is almost gone. As they cross into Canada, they spot aircraft taking off in the distance. These are the final evacuation flights. One small aircraft is still on the runway, so John accelerates toward it and blocks its path. The pilot initially refuses because the plane is already overloaded, but John's desperation eventually convinces him. The family climbs aboard, and the aircraft takes off toward Greenland. Exhausted, John drifts into a dream filled with memories of his old life, his home, his family, and Nathan's birthday before everything collapsed. When he wakes, the aircraft is descending toward Greenland. For the first time, it seems as though they have finally reached safety, but the nightmare is not over. A colossal comet fragment suddenly crashes into the ocean, creating a massive shockwave. The aircraft is thrown violently through the air, and both engines fail. The pilot struggles to control the powerless plane, but they crash onto the Greenland glacier. The aircraft slides across the ice before breaking apart. The pilots are trapped and dying, while the survivors struggle to escape the wreckage. Then John notices a military plane landing in the distance. He gathers Allison, Nathan, and the other survivors and leads them across the ice toward the soldiers. The military quickly loads the survivors into trucks and races toward the underground shelters. As they descend beneath the ice, alarms echo through the facility. Then comes the announcement everyone has feared. The planet killer has entered Earth's atmosphere, and impact is only minutes away. The massive shelter doors begin closing. John pulls Allison and Nathan close as the walls start shaking from the approaching catastrophe. There is nothing left to do except wait. In those final moments, John remembers sunlight, laughter, their home, and Nathan's birthday. The memories fade as everything outside is consumed by the planet's greatest impact. 9 months later, Earth is almost unrecognizable. Cities have been reduced to ash, mountains have been torn apart, and the atmosphere is still filled with dust. Inside the shelter, the survivors survivors wait for any sign that the outside world is becoming habitable again. Then a radio suddenly crackles to life. Radiation levels have fallen, and survivors are confirmed. The bunker doors slowly open. John, Allison, and Nathan step outside into the cold light of a completely changed Earth. The land is broken and scarred, but it is not completely dead. Above them, a single bird flies through the sky. Radio signals begin appearing from different parts of the world, confirming that other survivors have made it through the catastrophe. Humanity has not been completely erased. John, Allison, and Nathan stand together after surviving separation, violence, collapsing civilization, and the final impact. And with that, the story comes to an end. If you enjoyed this intense apocalyptic movie recap, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you can be the first to never miss our next movie recap. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and when you're done, watch another video on the channel for the next unforgettable story.